Okay, we're still here in the NetScaler booth. We're in the pod for AppExpert Visual Policy Builder. I'm here with Tal Klein. Tal, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Tal Klein. I'm a manager of integrated product strategy for Citrix, and what I'm showing here today is the NetScaler AppExpert Policy Engine. And I think the first question is, why should you care? Is that it? Well, the reason you should care is because what's unique about NetScaler's policy engine is that it's declarative as opposed to programmatic. And what that means is, in human speak, is that, oh, I got to restart my session, sorry. There you go. So when I go in and define NetScaler expressions that are then used in policies, I can just literally I use a building block. So as you can see, I can add an expression right here, and the first thing I'm looking at is the flow type. Am I looking at the request flow type or the response flow type? Then I decide what protocol I'm going to be looking at. Then I decide a qualifier, like this is how I decide what this expression will be used to do. Then an operator and a value. So for example, if I wanted to create an expression for a policy that separated users, like if you have a site that's optimized for Mozilla and a site that's optimized for Microsoft Internet Explorer, I would then go in and create a policy that basically contained user agents header, and then let's say I would identify Mozilla as that expression, right? And then I would call that expression Mozilla.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next theater presentation featuring HP is about to begin.
Oh, sorry, you're not allowed to have a... There we go. Oh, I already created one. There we go, okay.
Demos.
It's part of my demo, yeah, so you can see it's already in there. Okay, so anyway, you can see I'm doing my demo correctly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then you would take that expression, and then you could bind it to a vServer, so then basically, in that vServer, I would add a policy, and I would create a policy. Sorry. I have to create IP addresses. It's hard to do it on camera. You're always trying to.
Yeah. No pressure. There's only 10 million people watching.
Well, anyway, it'll be easier to do it from here. So let me just go in here and. I'll just create the policy. And based on the policy, I'll take the expression, and I will say, take the Mozilla header one expression, and create a policy based on that, called Mozilla header. That's right. I might want to just re-record it, but anyway. There you go. Okay. And I have the Mozilla header. And now I would just bind that to a vServer. So then I have the policy that I could then just bind to any vServer. The point is, I can use that policy as part of a vServer policy. I can bind it to a compression policy. I can bind it to a caching policy. Or anything that NetScaler does is now aware of Mozilla.
So that was a good example that you gave, a real simple one, one that people are going to immediately identify. But of course, there's ways to do that through your code on the page. So give me it occurs to me it'd be nice to have a more complex example that might be more difficult to code on the page that you could do rapidly on an AppExpert.
Well, no, you wouldn't code this on the page. This is a way of NetScaler identifying the traffic type. So, for example, me as a user, when I come in and access your page, www.barryplanning.com, I would then you don't know what kind of browser I'm using right off the bat. So if you've got web servers that are optimized to handle Mozilla or Internet Explorer, there's no way for you to load balance me based on my browser type.
So load balance based on that.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Or create compression policies.
Right.
Let's say, for example, I know that there's a bug with a certain version of Mozilla that doesn't properly compress, let's say, cascading style sheets. So then I can create a policy that identifies CSS, say if the browser is Mozilla 4.1, do not compress CSS.
Ah, see, that's an excellent, that's a very good use case.
Right. Well, so the idea of NetScaler is to make this stuff easy. It's not something you have to go in and program.
Right.
It's all using building blocks that are predefined. So you also can't create things like never-ending loops. You don't have to worry about breaking your site when you create a policy because it won't let you create anything that'll and it'll automatically destroy your site. That's the primary purpose of the AppExpert policy.
All right. Thank you so much, Tal.